spark within us. I create it, which means I think. So that's thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, which means that we are co-creators with God. So if we're thinking about something that we want to accomplish in the world and in our lives, we can, with our power of imagination, think about that. With our power of faith, we can create that. The fourth principle is I pray. So we make that conscious connection with the divine spirit within through prayer and meditation. That allows us to remain grounded spiritually. And the fifth principle is I live it, which means it's not enough to just know in our heads how to live our lives. We actually have to put our first foot forward, and we have to live those 5 principles. As a good friend of mine says, we have to tie our shoes. So that means that we have to move forward in faith and power and joy and love and live those principles. And we also want to inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. However that is, it may be smiling at them, at a person that you meet on the street. Just however you think that you can make a positive difference, that's what you should do. And of course, we also provide fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. So if you want to partake at Unity London's Sunday services, then that's great. If you want to come on our YouTube channel and listen to the service later, that's great. If you want to partake in a class and that's all you want to do, then that is great. However you want to participate is just fine. There are many opportunities for everybody to participate.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. me everything and every little thing that I need, and I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Wow, God gives us everything we need, so we're grateful for that. So this morning we have a few special announcements. And the first one is going to be about our prayer chaplains. So at 501 Nelson Street, you can go into the prayer room and Dawn will be meeting you there to pray with you today. So thank you, Dawn, for that. And I will be doing prayers for those of us who are on Zoom this morning. So if you would like prayer, if you could just go to the bottom of your screen, put in your prayer request, and after we're finished at the end of the service, I will be delighted to pray with you. All right, so coming soon, this is starting very, very soon, February 1st, that is this Wednesday. Catherine Bro is going to be leading the Jeshua letters, the Way of Mastery. And that starts at 9:30 to 11. So you can reach out to Catherine at kbro@gmail.com to let her know that you are going to be attending and to find out how to do that class if you're going to be on Zoom, which you will be because she's leading it from Mindamoya on Manitoulin Island. So thanks, Catherine, for that starting Wednesday, February 1st. Now, this morning, I understand that Lindsay Wilson was there in the fellowship room at 9:30 doing the new course, Bones for Life, Movement for Life. So we know that we all need structure in our life, and our bones are our structure in our life. So my understanding is that Lindsay's going to be doing that every Sunday morning before church service. So show up at 9:30. And as it says here on the slide, discover a resilience inherent in your bones that energizes, invigorates, and revitalizes your entire self. Wow, that sounds great. Thanks, Lindsay, for doing this for us. And we've got more things that are coming soon. There's a new condo lottery fundraiser in Grand Bend. So you can just, when you win this, you can just go up to Grand Bend and spend a wonderful time up there. So there'll be more details about this lottery fundraiser coming up. Also, too, we have our annual general meeting on March the 5th. So that will be after the church service on Sunday, March the 5th. And there will be some new board of directors needed for 2023. So please consider volunteering, and please know that someone from our nominating committee may be contacting you. And I can say from experience, having sat on the board for 3 times, that it's a very educational opportunity for anyone to find out really the goings on with Unity of London, because it's not just about showing up on Sunday. There's lots of work in the background that needs to be done. And this is a really great opportunity for those of you who might be considering taking on a leadership role or wanting to know more. So Unity's foundation is affirmative prayer, and Silent Unity has been praying with and for people for over 130 years, 24/7. So anytime during the week, day or night, if you feel in need of prayer, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY. And for those of you at 501 Nelson Street, there is the prayer box at the front of the sanctuary. So if you would like to request prayers for someone, there are pieces of paper there. Just write their name on that piece of paper and put it in the prayer box. God is all-knowing and knows exactly what type of thing that needs to be prayed on. And so also too, those prayer requests will be sent down to Unity worldwide. Well, they will be prayed on for 30 days as well. And so right now, if you'd just like to relax in your chair, wherever you are, just close your eyes if you wish. And just make that conscious connection to the divine spirit within. And so as we go into prayer today, we bless everyone, all spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. This morning, we thank Reverend Barb, the prayer chaplain for Unity, the Unity Board of Directors, for this prayer. So let her words be yours. It is with delight and joy that I acknowledge and recognize the infinite power and presence of God. I recognize it as omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscience. It is with this understanding that I acknowledge God is right here where I am, being me. I begin this day with a loving heart, with a peaceful mind, and I create with passion a life that is full and rewarding in every respect. My career is expansive joy, satisfying and fulfilling. My financial affairs are rich and overflowing with abundant good. My relationships are loving and kind, considerate, compassionate, respectful, and always satisfying. That I am health. As perfect health is fully revealed, I accept that it is my natural state of being. My spiritual path is comfortable, powerful, and positive. My life is a gift and a blessing, and I am rewarded with all good things. So as we close out January 2023 and all that it has been with a grateful heart, I release all that has been. I forgive easily and comfortably, allowing the past to be in the past. It is with a grateful heart that I embrace a new beginning, a new reality, a time filled with faith, hope, and love. I know that all is well, and I release those ideas into the law of mind, knowing that it is done. And so it is. So we also take this opportunity to hold anyone that you wish in blessings and prayer, and to speak their names quietly into this space now. We bless our fellow Unity organizations, and today especially Unity Vancouver Island and our Unity of Canada Board of Directors. And so as we move into the day, we understand and affirm that I am one with all that is. And so it is, and so I let it be. Okay. And just a quick reminder too, before we introduce the person who is doing our daily word, the library is now open, which is the bookstore, for your lending and purchasing choices. So for those of you who are at 501 Nelson, please take advantage of that service. And so today we welcome the platform assistant, Peggy Matzer, who will share the daily word.
So once again, today's daily word, can you hear me? Good, that's much better, is prosperity. I broaden my perspective of prosperity. When I think of prosperity, I may think of financial wealth or my possessions. I may even feel tempted to compare my life to someone else's and feel as though I come up short in comparison. Today, my understanding of prosperity grows. Feeling safe and secure in who I am is prosperity. Knowing I am gloriously made in the image of God is priceless. Realizing the abundance of the natural world and partaking of it is a gift. All of these are wonderful reminders that I reside in the kingdom of heaven. The more I appreciate the riches of the material world, the more aware I am of my greatest prosperity, my oneness with God. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap, nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Matthew 6, verse 26. And now it is my opportunity, my honor to introduce our guest speaker today, Pauline Duncan Thrasher. Pauline, like most of us, is on a spiritual journey filled with questions, reflections, and varying responses. She has been a prayer chaplain and a spiritual presenter at Unity of London since 2012. Pauline is a past Unity of London board member and a director, a current devoted Unity member and assistant librarian, an active author, mentor, coach. She is the first to admit that faith is essential for happy living. With her message, Faith Fueled for Life, please join me in welcoming Pauline Duncan Thrasher.
Thanks, Peggy. Thank you very much, Peggy. And what a joy to see everyone in person here at Unity of London. Welcome to Unity of London, and welcome to those who are online. I don't know about you. Have you ever, and please be honest, have you ever run out of gas in your car? That is. Nobody's putting their hand up. All right, good. There you are. And I may have shared this, but I'm going to share it again because it is so vivid in my memory, even though it happened years and years ago. I had my first new car. For me, it was a new car. And it was a Colt. If you know Colts, they're not big, huge, extravagant cars, but I was quite proud of it. I went to a teacher's meeting. It was on the other side of the city. All the teachers are so anxious to leave those meetings when they're over. So I didn't park in the parking lot. I parked out against the curb in my new car, feeling quite proud of it. There's a saying, do you think you're the cat's pajamas? Do you know that saying? Well, older people know. Those of us who've been around know that saying. So I was like the cat's pajamas with my new car. So I got out of the meeting. I went and sat in my car, and all the teachers were just streaming out in their cars. Parking lot was almost empty. So I turned the key, put my foot on the gas pedal. Nothing happened. I thought, this is a new car. It's not supposed to do this. So I phoned CAA. They came. Well, I didn't phone them. I ran back into the school because we didn't have cell phones then. That tells you how long ago it was. You can imagine my embarrassment when about half an hour later, and there were no cars in the parking lot by now, CAA came and he got in my car and he said, well, you're out of gas. I was humiliated. We need to fuel our cars, whether we're fueling them with gasoline or electric power. Even more important, we need to fuel our lives with faith. And that's what this message is about. We don't wait if we're smart. And once you run out of gas once, even though it's pretty pricey, you make sure that you don't wait till the tank is at empty. It doesn't run on fumes. You don't wait until you're starving to start eating food, as long as you're lucky enough to have food. And I was going to put a whole lot of food things, but Tony did that last week. So you get the message. We fuel our bodies. We fuel our cars with gasoline or electric energy. We fuel our bodies with food. Chocolate's not on there, but that's part of my diet. You know that. Fueling our lives with faith. We're driving in the car yesterday and I heard this very neat message. When you're down in the mouth, you need a faith lift. For those on Zoom, faith lift. And we forget that. Sometimes we wait. We wait until we are totally desperate, until all life's challenges are piled upon us. And then we start to pray. Then we start to say, oh, help me, help me. No, we can't do it that way. It doesn't work. Why do we need faith? Simply makes us happier. Faith has been called a choice to not panic. And if you are alive, you know what panic means. Panic is that horrible, stressed out, oh, I need help. You have to leave your job for whatever reason. Someone you love desperately has left. Either they made their transition or they're really sick. I'm not going to go on with all the things that life piles upon us, but all of those challenges and many more require us to have a faith in something within us. The light within us. That light is divine energy, our oneness with spirit. And in the next few moments, we'll talk a little bit more, not only about why, but about when. Do we wait until we're at a low ebb? We're on our hands and knees pleading and begging? No. We keep filling our lives with faith as we go. Day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, so that it is always a constant source of energy. And finally, how? How do we do it? Charles Fillmore talked about faith, as you might imagine, quite a bit. He was one of our co-founders of Unity, and he wrote a book, wrote many books. This was one called The Revealing Word, and in it he defines faith. You also see a definition in front of you. He called it the key element. Key element, essential in enabling men and women to accept the reality of the indwelling presence. Now, just imagine that. Just imagine if every moment, 24 hours a day, you were totally aware, accepting, embracing to your heart. That reminder that God, divine energy, spirit, higher power, whatever you call it, is in you, dwelling in you, part of you. That is fueling your life with faith. Accepting and embracing that reality alone is enough to give us the courage and the strength to carry on. Does faith dissipate all the hard stuff of life? Absolutely not. But it makes it way easier to reconcile, to accept. Instead of reacting, get away, I don't want those horrible things to happen. We learn how to deal with it with a greater calmness and a greater composure. He goes on to say, in Revealing Word, the power to do the seemingly impossible. Faith is a magnetic power that draws into our heart's desire from the invisible spiritual substance. Faith is a deep inner knowing. And from Hebrews, now faith is assurance of things hoped for. It's the foundation. It's everything that has ever uplifted men and women to do the seemingly impossible. And even to deal with the death of someone you loved. That's faith. That's power. And we have access to that. Long time ago, my cousin Judy sent me this sweet card called Looking Back. And although it says our girlhood dreams have ripened, could be your boyhood dreams. We've learned a thing or two from hopes we've seen fulfilled, assorted troubles we've been through. We're looking back astonished at how fast the years have flown, how much we've done, how far we've come, how well mature we've grown. Our lives have many stories. Countless memories remain to touch us once again with joy and tenderness and pain. And still we look ahead with hope, with faith. For as the years unfold, there's no limit to the dreams our hearts can hold. That was a birthday card that she sent to me. All of us have pasts. And in our past, there may be sadness, loss, disappointment. But we are here today, now, this moment. We have today, this moment, filled with faith. And we don't know what will happen next. We have no guarantees. There may be still troubles to come. But if we are infused with faith, we have the power to deal with those. Live out of your imagination, not your history. Think of that. Your imagination, not your history. It's not your past. If you didn't do well in the past, that's in the past. Hopefully you learned a lot from it. Eric Butterworth has written a book. I don't know if there's a copy in the library. He's written many books, but Discover the Power Within You is one that I really gravitate toward. Through faith, he says, you will see beyond the appearance and accept and claim your wholeness. So if you look in the mirror and you say, oh dear, I don't look so great today. Or I'm getting more wrinkles than I used to have yesterday. So see your wholeness. See what the world may not see, but you can feel your faith. I'm going to ask Chuck and Suzanne just to stand up and come up. And if you come up here, then the people on Zoom will see you. Because these are two people of faith right within our own community. And they're wearing these great shirts. Yes, you can give them a huge round of applause. And what they say, what their shirts, they're both wearing shirts. You can read Suzanne's shirt, Grace's.
This was on the bulletin for the church for January. And I've always known grace as an unearned gift from God, right? When your faith is a little low, you still have grace. But this was on the bulletin and I'd never seen it before. And I just fell in love with it. I cut it out and taped it to my mirror at home. Grace is an upward pull of the universe, lifting me to the heights of divine nature. you know, and I just found that to be quite beautiful.
I'd like you to put your hands up, way up in the air. Grace is lifting us up to the heights. And our belief and our faith is lifting us up to the heights. Yay, Chuck. Yay, Suzanne. Yay. Thank you very much. Eric Butterworth says, faith is the key to the fourth dimension of living. The perception by which we can see wholeness where there appears to be sickness. Does that mean sickness disappears because we have faith? No. Although it may. But it means we get to focus, refocus, figure out what we are looking at. The conviction that where lack appears, there is plenty. Where pain appears, there is relief. Who in this room has suffered pain in the last month? But we're all here. We figured out ways to get beyond it. In chaos, there is harmony. Faith accepts wholeness, not simply the desire to be whole. Faith is the eye that sees the spirit, the hand that clings to the spirit, the receiving power that appropriates the spirit. Through faith, you see beyond appearance. There is an inspiriting of God in you that will give you understanding, but you must expect to receive it. You must be willing to move your feet. You don't just sit there and say, oh, faith, come in. We need to do some work. We need to exercise. If you have your car sitting in the driveway and you notice that it's almost out of gas, and you say, gas, fill my car. Nothing will happen. You have to drive it to the service station, pay a whole lot of money, put it in the tank, and fill it. The same thing with faith. We need to pray often, to meditate often, to use affirmations often, to be aware when we are engaging in negative, down thoughts, and to let them go, to release them. And that takes a lot of focus. Is it possible? Absolutely, yes. I know it because I've done it. And that doesn't make me a saint. Lots of people in this room have done it. They have looked at the negative thinking, been aware of the negative thinking, and said, I'm tired of being in the pits. I want to start living more holy, more happily, more faith-filled. But it takes work. It is work that will give you so many huge dividends, you have no idea. Huge dividends coming back to you. I wanted to just briefly mention Helen Keller, who, as you know, at the age of 19 months, or you may not know, was struck blind and deaf. She could no longer see or hear, and she didn't deal with it well for a long time. Word is that she screamed, she kicked, and she bit people. And if you've ever read her story, you know that she was rebelling against it, but she didn't stay in that state of rebellion. And what she had to say was, faith teaches us to use our talents to the fullest extent, however slight they may be. She went on to become the very first person who was blind and deaf to graduate from a university. and it was Radcliffe. She traveled to 39 countries. She is here with her tutor, Anne Sullivan. We have to be aware often that we can see sunshine where others see shadows. I cannot see Amber and Mike without thinking that they are living examples of faith right in our community, who went on a bike ride miles and miles and miles. Just riding a bike makes me feel tired, but they did it. And Amber can't see very well. Her vision's almost gone. And Mike had the faith, and Amber had the faith. They had the faith in each other to embark on that ride. And they raised thousands and thousands of dollars. But more than that, they inspired us, who saw them doing something beyond their capabilities. They saw sunshine where others saw shadows. And we need to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You don't have to. You can live in the victim state, poor me, thinking, why me? Why not you? When you replace, why is this happening to me, with what is this trying to teach me, everything shifts. Just think about that. Everything shifts. You figure out, what am I learning from this experience? Apasia Hasbrook has a lot to say in her lovely book, Positive Prayer. And because I did a few things that I don't normally do, I've run out of time almost. So I won't go through all of it, but she has lots of steps about prayer. I don't know who in this room remembers a tiny little man who would stand on the edge of the fellowship, and his name was Peter. Anybody remember Peter? I do, because I used to talk to him a lot. A little tiny man who wrote a book, and he gave me his book. And he said, you don't have to tell other people. It's called 7 Steps to Effective Prayer. His name was Peter Gray, and his wife was not well. And in the front, he said, to Positive Pauline, in gratitude for your kindness and your prayers, I know that your spiritual life is blessed, Peter Gray. And if you miss seeing him or miss meeting him, I'm sorry. You go into that fellowship room, there are different talents, different abilities, different gifts. Don't miss the gifts of people sitting right beside you or standing on the outside of the circle because they're too shy to come in. My friend Sue Mins, I've referred to before. She was the most amazing woman I've ever met. She developed MS in her early 30s and had to quit her daycare center job that she loved. MS in her 30s, then cancer, then her house burnt down. She was in a wheelchair, then her cancer came back again. Was she saying, poor me? I never heard her say that, ever, ever. She had the most positive attitude. And she said, I choose the red shoes. I get to wear stiletto red high-heeled shoes because I'm in a wheelchair. I could never wear them otherwise. This was her philosophy in life. She made people laugh. She laughed herself. Was she always laughing? I bet not when her house burned down. She chose how to respond to life. Respond, not react. My husband and I were in Timmy's one day, snowy, snowy, snowy. I happened to look out the window. This was Pond Mills area. And I said, there's somebody in a wheelchair. It was Sue. She'd gone in her electric wheelchair from her house, which was about 8 blocks away, through the snow, into Timmy's, saying to everybody, hi, hi, good to see you all. That was Sue. Her celebration of life, they had this huge room that was overflowing and everybody wore red shoes to remember Sue. She was a living testament of faith, faith in action, just the way Peter was. There's a morning affirmation, and I brought a few copies. I gave a special copy to Lindsay because I loved her morning workshop. If you have a chance, please go to her morning workshop. And if you can see those words, I'd like you to read them together. Today, I open my eyes to a brilliant new day of light and love. I focus on my highest good in everything I do. I will maintain peace and harmony within my inner being and not allow outside circumstances to disturb my happiness. I honor my sacred life and am grateful for all that I have. Imagine starting every day with that message. If you want a copy, there is some beside Chuck. If you need more, I'll bring more next week. Have a favorite prayer that you've memorized so that you can say it throughout the day. The minute you start to feel that down, oh, poor me, victimness, say your prayer. Mine is, I release and I let go. Let spirit run my life. When strife and stress come, faith is my light. I'm paraphrasing here, but you know the song. I've turned it into my special prayer. Find something that suits you. And remember, happiness is not something we travel to, although it will be fun to go somewhere warm. And I know someone we love dearly is going to Jamaica soon. That's not the soul source, though. It's not owned. If you have a great, big, beautiful house, that's nice. Is that your sole source of happiness? No. Earned, worn. I really like my sweater. Is it the source of my happiness? No. Or consumed, even dark chocolate? No. Adds, but not totally. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude.
Amen.
Fuel your lives with faith. Don't wait until your tank is empty. Don't try to run your life on fumes or possessions or even food or clothes. We need to fuel our lives with faith. And let us now go into meditation. I invite you just to plant your feet firmly, to relax in your chairs, to open your hearts and minds to divine presence, to that wondrous power that is within you everywhere, always. And I'll begin our meditation with the words of Helen Keller. Through faith, I create the world I gaze upon. I make my own day and night. Tint the clouds with iridescent fires, and behold, a midnight is strewn with stars. It is faith which lights us into sustaining realities beyond those perceived by physical senses. With faith, we are connected inseparably to God's goodness, abundance, and wholeness. Feel God's goodness, abundance, and wholeness flowing through you now, from the top of your head through your whole body, flowing with the warmth, the love, and the light of God's wholeness. Feel yourself radiating with love and positive calmness, the harmony that comes from realizing, embracing, accepting God presence in you as you. And in your affirmative prayers, you might begin, I give thanks that God is life. I am one with God. I am one with life. In the next few moments, quiet moments, I invite you to affirm, I am one with God. I'll let you know when our time is fulfilled. Keep breathing in, breathing out. as we prepare to return. May we make a commitment to ourselves to fuel our lives with faith in the divine omnipresence, omniscience, omni-loving presence of God within. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Well, Pauline, thank you so, so much for that amazing chat this morning. That talk was, I mean, there was so many takeaways from that. From the first, one of the things that you said, the definition, faith, a choice to not panic. I mean, really, I mean, if that doesn't say it for most of us, I think that was just great. And two, a couple of other little things that made me smile is, so I've run out of gas, I think at least 3 times. And the most embarrassing one was when I was with my boss one day and I ran out of gas and he had to go get the gas for me. So, and I didn't get fired or anything, but I did run out of gas. And two, Sue Mins, the woman that you were talking about with the red shoes, the one thing that I remember from her is she had 9.5, she wore 9.5 size shoes. And so for her to get a pair of red 4-inch stilettos was a bit of a challenge. And she said that where she ended up getting her stilettos was from a drag queen in New Jersey. That's where she got her red shoes. So anyway, lots of great information there on faith. Thank you so much, Pauline. Well, this morning, we all are choosing, hopefully, we're all choosing abundance today. And so we're grateful to the source of our abundance. And we appreciate the many who allow the supply to flow through them as they share their time, talents, and financial gifts. And we thank those who give spontaneously or regularly. And so as we're collecting the offering at 501 Nelson Street right now, we affirm that we share together our blessings. And that accompanies those collecting these offerings. And so we repeat our prosperity blessing. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And in faith we say, yea, God. And now our peace song. And so as we go throughout our week, as we leave today from and do whatever we are called to do, may we remember that faith is always a choice, and it is not a choice it is the choice not to panic and to believe that the best is always unfolding for us. So right now then we have this opportunity to comment on the service and to give our thanks to Pauline. So if there's anyone who would like to come up to the platform, then that's great. Or if there's anyone online here on Zoom that would like to comment on Pauline's presentation.